I have been inside the Rams facility at Thousand Oaks this week, and the atmosphere is shifting rapidly. We are seeing a concerted effort to recalibrate the personnel strategy as the front office makes calculated decisions to balance the books while upgrading the talent floor. It is not just about filling spots, it is about finding the right scheme fits that align with the long-term vision of this coaching staff. We have major movement to break down today, involving a new arrival, a notable departure, and a key retention that dictates our path forward.
The Los Angeles Rams have made an aggressive move to solidify their defensive backfield and versatility by securing the signature of the former Detroit Lions standout. When you look at how this team approaches the offseason, it is rarely about the biggest splashy name, but rather about identifying players who have been undervalued in their previous systems. Bringing this caliber of athlete into the fold is a clear signal that the front office remains committed to a physical, high-intensity defensive philosophy. This is a player who has shown an innate ability to diagnose plays before they develop, acting as an extension of the coaching staff on the field. From a scheme standpoint, his arrival provides a significant boost to the defensive rotation. He brings a level of grit and versatility that we have been looking for since the end of last season. The transition from the NFC North to the West Coast presents its own set of challenges, but the scouting department has been high on his tape for months. They believe his ability to play in space and support the run game will be a force multiplier for the rest of the secondary. Fans should be excited about the tenacity he brings to the unit. It is the kind of signing that changes the complexion of the secondary room immediately. Watching how he integrates during the initial OTA sessions will be the primary storyline for our defensive coverage moving forward. He is exactly the type of high-motor player who fits the culture being built here. We are talking about a guy who thrives in high-leverage situations and understands the nuances of the game at an elite level. His experience in competitive playoff environments is an asset that cannot be overstated for a roster that is looking to make a deep run this coming year. You can see the deliberate effort to maximize cap space while increasing the overall speed of the defense. It is a masterclass in roster construction when you consider the scarcity of impact players available at this point in the cycle. He is not just an addition, he is a statement piece for the defense. Now, as we look at the offensive side of the ball, we have to address how the wide receiver room is evolving. The departure of a speedster is creating a void that the staff must fill, and it raises the question of whether the team has already identified his replacement in the draft or if a veteran addition is still looming on the horizon. The landscape of the offense is changing, and this next move confirms that the team is ready to embrace a new identity in their passing attack. The departure of a familiar face is rarely easy, but it is necessary.
If you want to keep getting exclusive insights like this, subscribe now and hit the bell icon. We are tracking every move at the facility to ensure you stay ahead of the curve.
The reality of the NFL business hit home this week with news that the speed threat Tutu Atwell is officially heading to the Miami Dolphins on a one-year deal. This is a move that, while perhaps expected by those tracking the salary cap closely, certainly alters the dynamic of the Rams' receiving core. Tutu Atwell provided a specific element of vertical stretch that forced defenses to respect the deep ball, and his absence creates a tactical shift for the offensive play callers. When you analyze his tenure here, it was defined by flashes of brilliance and the ability to turn a short slant into a massive gain. However, the business of the league often dictates that teams must prioritize depth and financial flexibility over keeping every homegrown talent on the roster. The Dolphins are getting a player who is hungry to prove he can be more than just a situational deep threat, and he will likely find a role in their high-tempo scheme. For the Rams, this decision is a direct reflection of the organization's current priorities. They are clearly looking to reallocate resources to other areas of the field, likely focusing on the trenches where they have historically prioritized strength and size. Losing a player with his specific skill set is never simple, as it forces the remaining receivers to step up and absorb those vacated targets. The coaching staff will now have to decide if they want to rely on the current depth chart, or if they need to look toward the draft to find a new dynamic playmaker. The loss of his speed is tangible, but it also allows for a potential reshuffling of the receiver rotation that could lead to more consistency across the board. We have to consider how the quarterback will adjust to the new look of the offense. If you look at the remaining talent, there is still plenty of potential, but the absence of such a known commodity changes the pre-snap reads for opposing defenses. It is a calculated gamble by the front office to bet on the collective rather than the individual. As we watch this ripple effect across the offense, we cannot ignore the work being done on the defensive front. While the offense deals with personnel turnover, the defense is busy securing their own core pieces. It makes you wonder how the front office plans to maintain continuity while also bringing in fresh faces. The balance between veterans and younger players is being tested now more than ever. We have another update on the defensive side of the ball that highlights this exact push for stability. It is a story about a player who has earned his keep and is now set to continue his development right here in Los Angeles.
Stability is the name of the game, and the Rams have confirmed that the defensive front will retain Keir Thomas for the upcoming season on a new one-year contract. This is a classic example of the organization rewarding a player who has put in the work since arriving as an undrafted free agent back in 2022. His journey is a testament to the culture within this building, where players are given the platform to grow and eventually become vital contributors to the rotation. Keir Thomas has shown consistent improvement, particularly in his ability to set the edge and disrupt the pocket when called upon. By locking him in for another year, the team secures a reliable piece of their defensive foundation. It is not always the high-profile signings that define a championship-caliber roster, but rather the depth pieces who know the scheme inside and out and can step up in crucial moments. This extension provides the defensive coordinator with the flexibility to rotate players, keeping the front fresh throughout the duration of the season. When you look at the total picture of these three moves, you see a team that is actively managing its roster with precision. They are bringing in impact talent, parting ways with players who have different opportunities elsewhere, and ensuring that their homegrown depth is solidified. It is a balanced approach that demonstrates a clear understanding of the current market and the team's internal needs. The decision to retain Keir Thomas suggests the coaching staff is very comfortable with his development and expects him to play a larger role in the defensive rotation moving forward. This is exactly how you build a sustainable roster that can compete year in and year out. Fans can rest easy knowing that the front office is not just reacting to the market, but is instead executing a long-term plan that emphasizes player retention and smart acquisitions. The synergy between the personnel department and the coaching staff is evident here. They know who they want to keep and where they need to pivot. As we look at the full scope of these transactions, it is clear that the Rams are positioning themselves to be a formidable unit once again. There is a sense of purpose behind every contract signed and every departure acknowledged. We are witnessing the assembly of a roster designed for versatility and durability. As the dust settles on these latest updates, we have to look ahead. There are still holes to fill, and the draft is looming on the horizon, promising to bring even more competition to this group. Will the team continue this trend of value-based signings, or are they preparing to make a more aggressive play for a high-impact veteran? The decisions made this week are just the beginning of what promises to be a very busy and transformative offseason for this franchise. Stay tuned as we continue to track every move.
These moves reflect a front office that is acutely aware of the league's shifting landscape. By balancing high-impact additions with the strategic retention of key depth, the Rams are laying a groundwork that emphasizes both consistency and fresh energy. We are in the heat of the roster-building cycle, and every decision made now carries weight for when the team takes the field in the fall. I want to know your take on these latest developments. Are you satisfied with the direction the front office is taking, or were you hoping for a different approach regarding the receiver room? Let me know in the comments below, and we will keep you updated as the situation evolves. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.